Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Students, in one of the previous video we talked about mutation theory given by Hugo de Vries and theory of natural selection by Charles Darwin. Now, though mutation and natural selections were important in evolution, these theories have their own limitations or demerits. So, modern synthetic theory was proposed, which not only talk about mutation and natural selection, but it also considers the other aspects such as genetic, ecological, anatomical, geographical, and paleontological aspects. Now, students, in genetic aspects, we talk about genes, chromosomes, and alleles. In ecological aspects, we talk about the effect of environment on the organisms. In anatomical aspects, we consider internal and external features of the organisms. And in case of paleontological evidences, we talk about the study of fossils. Now, the fossils gives us the idea about the biodiversity which was there in the past. Students, many biologists contributed towards this modern synthetic theory of evolution. George Stebbins was a key person among them. Stebbins in his book said that evolution occurs due to gene and chromosomal mutation, genetic recombination, natural selection, and reproductive isolation. So in the next slide, we'll see what are those aspects of this theory. Students, evolution is genetic changes in the population over a period of time. So according to this definition, something should happen to drive genetic changes in the organisms. Modern synthetic theory considers many factors which can broadly divide into three groups, and they are genetic variations, natural selection, and isolation. Genetic variation considers gene mutation, genetic recombination, gene flow, genetic drift, and chromosomal aberration. So students, we will discuss all these features one by one. Of course, some of these points such as gene mutation, genetic recombinations, and natural selections we have learnt in previous classes. Students, let us understand about genetic variations. Now, genetic variation occurs due to many reasons. We'll start with gene mutation. Now, we know that mutations are sudden, permanent, and inheritable changes which occurs in the genetic material. Now, mutation can occur at chromosomal level or at DNA level. Now, in case of sickle cell anemia, now in this case, the normal sequence of hemoglobin CTC is changed to CAC. Now, that results into abnormal hemoglobin, which makes the RBCs sickle-like. So, this is one of the fetal disease, which is very dangerous. Now, genetic mutation also occur at chromosomal level. Now, this is an example of Down syndrome where the number of chromosomes in these individuals are more than 46. So here, there's a 21st trisomy which results into 47 chromosomes in these individuals. So we call them as what? Down syndrome children. So mutations occur at gene level as well as chromosomal levels. Now, second aspect is genetic recombination. Now, genetic recombination occurs due to many reasons. Now, this is an example of genetic recombination which occurs during patchwork of prophase 1 of meiosis. We call this as crossing over also. Now, this we have done in one of the previous video. You can check that. The second genetic recombination is due to the random arrangement of chromosomes at metaphase 1, again during meiosis, and even it occurs due to the random separation of chromosomes during anaphase 1 of meiosis 1. So prophase 1, metaphase 1, and anaphase 1, in all these three stages they help in genetic recombination directly. The fourth example of genetic recombination is there is a random fusion of sperms with the ovum. So that also leads to genetic recombination. Genetic variation also occurs due to gene flow. Now, when there is a movement of genes or alleles from one population to another population, it leads to, say, the changes in allele frequencies. Now, immigration will lead to loss of genes, whereas immigration will lead to the gain of the genes. In case of plants, the gene flow occurs by either pollen dispersal or by seed dispersal. Now, it is done by either wind or by some animals. Now, in this case, the bird is helping the seed dispersal. So, in case of plants, the gene flow occurs from one region to another region due to, say, abiotic factors or biotic factors. Abiotic factors include, say, wind, water, whereas biotic factor includes, say, animals such as birds. Now, the third example of gene flow is in bacteria. Now, the segment of DNA is going from one bacterium to another bacterium. So, this process is called as transformation. Now, students, if you remember the Griffith experiment, which we have done in one of the previous video, it talks about the flow of, say, segment of DNA from one bacterium to second bacterium. So I'm enclosing the video of that in the I section. Please check that. So in case of gene flow, it brings about the changes in the allele frequencies. Please make a note of this point. Students, the genetic variation also occurs due to genetic drift or civil right effect. Now, genetic drift talks about any change in allele frequencies by chance alone. This is called as, say, genetic drift. Now, this occurs in small population as it was discovered by civil right. Therefore, it is called as civil right effect. Now, according to Hardy-Weinberg principle, allele frequencies remain constant over a period of time if there is no mutation, no natural selection, large population size, random mating, and no immigration or immigration. But we know that it is difficult to keep that ideal condition. So allele frequencies keep on changing in the population. Now, genetic drift occurs by two ways. First is bottleneck effect. Now, let us take one example here. This is a population of, say, 10 people. Here, a green circle are the dominant alleles, whereas the white one are recessive alleles. So in this population, both alleles have same frequencies. Now, due to the flood conditions, drought, fires, cyclones, earthquakes, or any natural disasters, there's a sharp decrease in population with altered gene or allele frequencies. Now, look at the second picture. 3 people are surviving with 2 white and 1 green allele. Now, as the condition becomes favorable, what will happen? The population size is restored with changed allele frequencies. We started with, say, 5 green and 5 white allele population, and we ended with now, say, this is a population of 10 people with, say, 2 green alleles and 8 white alleles. So this is called as bottleneck effect. So there is a change in allele frequencies due to this natural calamities. That is what called as genetic drift. So genetic drift occurs due to first effect, that is bottleneck effect. Now, students, let us take one more example here. This is the founder effect. Now let us take the same example. Here we have, say, population of 10 people with 5 green and 5 white alleles in the population. Now suppose due to geographical barriers such as, say, river, ocean, or any other aspect, the two populations are separated. Here what is happening? The 3 individuals are separated from the original population. So this 3 people which are separated from, say, original population are called as the founder population. Now when this population grows at separated geographical area, the allele frequencies are different from the original population. See the last figure where the population has 8 green alleles and 2 white alleles. So we started with, say, 5 green and 5 white alleles, and we ended with, say, 8 green and 2 white alleles. So this is like the change in allele frequencies by chance alone, and this genetic drift occurs in small population. So students, I hope you are clear with the concept of genetic drift. Students, the last aspect in genetic variation is chromosomal aberration. Now it means the structural and morphological changes which occurs in chromosomes. It alters the sequence of the gene which results in variation and that leads to evolution. Now following are types of chromosomal aberration. The first is deletion. Now in deletion, the segment of the DNA or chromosome is deleted. Now in this case we can see that the B segment is deleted, which has resulted into the altered sequence of the chromosome. So that is called as deletion. In case of duplication, which is also called as repetition, where the segment B is repeated, and you can see the sequence first as ABC, which after duplication has become ABBC. So this is duplication. Now in case of inversion, the chromosome is broken and get arranged in the same position but in inverted position. So if you see the sequence ABCDEF, which becomes this BC segment and D is broken down and they are rearranged here in inverted fashion. Therefore the sequence becomes AEDCBF. So this is called as inversion. So in case of inversion, the chromosome is broken and get arranged in the same position in inverted fashion. And the fourth one is, it is called as translocation. Now in translocation, one chromosome receives the non-homologous part of totally different chromosome. It is due to the jumping genes. So if you see carefully here, there is exchange of the chromosomes which are not related. So that results into, say, changing in position of the part of the chromosome. We call that as translocation. So students, the genetic variations due to chromosomal aberrations are of four types: deletion, duplication, inversion, and translocation. Now, natural selection also play a very important role in evolution. Now, if you remember, we have made one video based on natural selection theory given by Charles Darwin. So I'm enclosing the link of that video in the I section. Please check that. Please check the initial part of that video which talks about the concept of natural selection, that is the role of natural selection in evolution. Please check that. Now students, the last feature is the isolation. Isolation is the separation of population into the smaller groups. Now some barrier which prevents the gene flow between the population is called as isolation mechanism. Now these isolating mechanisms are broadly divided into two groups: the geographical isolation and reproductive isolation. Reproductive isolations are further divided into pre-mating and post-mating mechanisms. Now we'll see one by one what are those features. Now in case of geographical isolation, the original population is separated due to oceans, rivers, mountains, and glaciers. It results into formation of, say, population 1 and population 2. Now different forces act on this population 1 and population 2, which results into formation of, say, gene pool 1 and gene pool 2 in these population, which lead to, say, reproductive isolation and leads to speciation, that is formation of species 1 and species 2. So this is what called as the geographical isolation leading to the speciation and evolution. Now let us talk about, say, reproductive isolation now. Now in case of pre-mating or pre-zygotic mechanism, the individuals are not able to come together for breeding due to various reasons. The first is the habitat or ecological isolation. Now here the members of the population living in different, say, ecological condition but same geographical area. Now here one is in, say, fresh water and second is in, say, brackish water or, say, even the sea water. As there is a difference in the ecology of the surrounding condition, the two animals are not able to come together for breeding. So this is called as habitat or ecological isolation. Now second is called as seasonal or temporal isolation, where the two populations, they are present in the same geographical area, but there is a differences in the maturation period. So suppose one is having sexual reproduction say during early month of January and second is in the month of July. So due to differences in the breeding period, they are not able to come together for breeding. So this is called as seasonal or temporal isolation. Now third is called as ethological isolation, where now we know that like we have seen in the nature that male tries to convince the female for breeding. Now to do so, this male tries to do many things like acting, gestures, etc. It is called as courtship behavior. Now if there is a differences in the courtship behavior, population doesn't come together for breeding. So we call this as what? Ethological isolation. And the last is the mechanical isolation, where the breeding is prevented due to differences in the size of reproductive organ. So in first case, that is in case of pre-zygotic mechanism, the animals are or plants are not able to come together for breeding. That is first case. In case of post-mating or post-zygotic isolation, there are three types here. The first is the gamete motility. The first is the gamete motility, where the gametes die before fertilization, so no individuals are produced. Second is the zygote motility, where the gametes unite but the zygote which is formed is dying before individuals are produced. And third is the hybrid sterility, where the gametes are fusing to form zygote and this zygote forms the individual, but the individuals which are produced are sterile. So we call that as what? Hybrid sterility. The good example of this is the mule. Now mule is a cross between horses and donkeys. So this is what called as post-mating or post-zygotic isolation. So students, I hope you are clear with the concept of this isolating mechanisms. Students, I hope you are clear with the concept of modern synthetic theory of evolution, which considers genetic variation, natural selection, and isolation. At the end, I request you all to like my channel, share it, and subscribe it. Thank you for watching this video. Stay home, stay safe. I'll see you in the next video with concept of Hardy-Weinberg principle. Thank you.